Aloha, I'm Sabrina with Begin Being, and this video is going to be a little different than most of my videos. This video is dedicated to my Grandma Dorothy, whose funeral I'm on the way to right now. My grandma and we were really close. When my dad moved to a different state, my dad's her son, when he moved to a different state, she helped my mom raise me. So she had a huge influence in my life, and she's a big part of why I am who I am. She's a big part of me, and I am so grateful and thankful to have her in my life, to have had her in my life. And because we were so close as I grew older, she shared a lot of her life with me. She shared a lot of what she did and what she didn't do. And it turns out she had a lot of regrets. She lived to the age of 90, which to, most Americans, that's amazing. And for 90, she was actually in pretty good health. And so I think about her and I think about what it would be like to be 90 and, still have all of my memories and still be able to, function and go and do things. And she lived with regrets. There were a lot of regrets, a lot of things that she wanted to do that she never accomplished. One of the things was love. She never felt like true romantic love. She said she was never in love. And she outlived multiple husbands. And she was never in love with any of them. And one of the things that she really taught me was, whatever it is you want to do it. Don't live with regrets. And so, in honor of her, I am sitting in the National Sequoia Forest, the Sequoia National Forest, because I love trees. I know that might be silly, but I do. I really love trees. It's funny, when I was a little girl, my mom, she would always tell me that my babysitters, they would say how strange I was. Like I was, different from all of the other children, because when the other children would be watching TV or, just sitting there like zoning out in front of the like cartoons and stuff, I would be outside. I would be outside and playing in nature. And if it was like rainy or, bad weather, I would be inside doing something creative, like using my imagination and creating things. And so nature, yes, I really love nature. I have a passion for being out in nature, and maybe while I'm here, I'll do a video on trees and actually why they're so healthy, and they have so many health benefits, including like helping with depression and stuff like that. And so I thought that if I was 90 and I had never seen what's considered to be the biggest tree in the world, the General Sherman, that I would regret it. I would really regret it. And it's funny because I actually come to California a lot. I have family in Northern California, and with Empowerment Inc., we do a lot of trainings in Southern California. The sequoias are kind of in the central, and they're usually about like 5 or so hours away from where I am, and in California. So even though seeing the sequoias have been on my bucket list for like decades, I've never made the time to come see them because they're about, 5 or so hours away from, where I'm normally at. I've seen the redwoods. I've seen the redwoods many times, but never the sequoias. And so, in honor of her, I'm here. I am visiting the sequoias. So dealing with death and regrets, that's the topic, right? There is a very famous quote. You might have seen it on bumper stickers or magnets, stuff like that. And it is, what would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? The author's mostly unknown. There are some people who kind of attribute it to this one person, but most of the time you'll see author unknown. But it was my motto for a long time because it really got me thinking, okay, what would I attempt to do if I knew I could not fail? And it got me thinking, well, if there's something that I would attempt, knowing that I couldn't fail, am I doing it? Am I going for it? Am I actually accomplishing it? And if the answer is no, if I'm not going for it, if I'm not trying to do it, then to me that means that there must be some baggage. There must be some like limiting beliefs or negative emotions like anger, sadness, fear, or the limiting beliefs like I can't do it or I'm not good enough. And then I know I need to deal with that. I know I need to deal with that so that I can accomplish what I want to do. Now, when I became a trainer of NLP, Neurolinguistic programming, I realized, hold on, NLP is all about positive languaging. It's about communicating better with yourself and with others, and through using positive languaging and a whole lot more. But a lot of it has to do with communication. And what would you attempt to do if you knew you wouldn't fail? Is more of a move away from. It's more of like a negative motivator. And in NLP, I teach people to use positive motivators. I teach them to speak with positive languaging and have moved toward goals. So I've changed the quote, and this has actually become a part of my philosophy. There is a really good book called The Slight Edge. I'll put it in the links below. And it talks a lot about what your philosophy is and how to follow your philosophy. That's maybe another whole video. But that's my philosophy now, or part of it anyway, is I've changed it to, what would you do if you knew you could succeed? What would you attempt to do if you knew you would succeed? I want you guys to think about that for a minute and ask yourselves, truly ask yourselves, what would you attempt to do if you knew you could succeed? I want you guys to really think about this. I want you to ask yourselves, what would you attempt to do if you knew you would succeed? Really contemplate that for a moment. What would it be? Would it be changing careers, like doing something you've always wanted to do instead of being stuck in what you think you're supposed to do? Would it be asking that person out or taking the chance, proposing? Would it be to, stop eating the food that's no longer good for your body, no longer making you feel good? Would it be to get a new exercise routine that's allowing you to live to 90 and be healthy? What would it be for you? Another way to look at this, or another question to ask, and it's moving back towards a little bit towards more of a move away from. And my grandma really got me thinking about this though. What would you regret at the end of your life if you didn't do it? What would you regret? A more positive view on this would be, what would you be proud of accomplishing at the end of your life? What would you be what would you look back on and think, wow, I'm really glad I did this? These are questions no one ever prompted my grandma to think about, nor did she think about them on her own. She spent her younger years just living in survival mode, and her later years living in comfort, but asleep, no longer thinking about her desires or goals. Just, hey, I'm comfortable now. Let's not rock the boat kind of thing. So how do you conquer death and live without results? You ask yourself these 3 questions. 1, what would I attempt to do if I knew I would succeed? 2, when looking at my accomplishments at the end of my life, what will I be most proud of? 3, when in the last years of my life, what memories will bring me the most joy? Using myself as an example, if I would have stayed at that soul-sucking corporate job I had and I didn't go to work for Empowerment Inc., I would have regretted that. I would have spent my life regretting it. The corporate job did not align with my values at all. They didn't care about people, not their customers, not their employees. And they were too big to fail. So they really just had no reason to care. They didn't care if people were trying to improve themselves, if they were trying to find out who they came here to be. which is the exact opposite of me. I want everyone to grow. I want everyone to accomplish their life's mission. And that's an extremely powerful for me. It's a very powerful value. And so if I would have continued to work for a job that was not in alignment with my values, had like almost the opposite value, they care about their shareholders and about their bottom line, even though, like I said, they were too big to fail, so they didn't even need to. And if I would have stayed, that would have been my regret. But that job was safe, it was secure, I was making good money, I had good health insurance, all of the logical reasons to stay. And what I found is I can have all of that and more when I became aligned with who I am meant to be and started doing the things that I am meant to do. Now I get to have the things that I'm meant to have. You see, we all came here with a mission. We all came here with a purpose. We all came here with something our soul wants us to accomplish. And every choice we make determines whether or not we're able to accomplish that mission. If we stay asleep and we just stay in a trance and we just watch TV and we're not true to ourselves, if we just go along with whatever everybody else is doing and we don't wake up to our mission and our purpose, if we don't follow our dreams, that is how and why we have regrets at the end of our lives. So the way to not have regrets is to accomplish your soul's task. When you're living your purpose, when you're living the mission from your soul, death is no longer an issue. Death is no longer a fear, for you have accomplished your goals, and you are simply going on to the next ones. When we live our purpose, there are no regrets. Therefore, there is no fear of death, and you have conquered it. Thank you for watching this video, and my heart goes out to anyone who's ever lost someone that means so much to them. I love you all. I'm here with you on this wonderful adventure on this planet Earth. Take care and always remember to choose love in all that you do. Mahalo. I'll always love you, Grandma Dorothy, and you'll be remembered through me and through our family. And now I'm here in an amazing area where I'm surrounded by incredibly large trees, and I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but there is a huge waterfall just right down that way. So if you can hear a background noise, that's exactly what it is, and I really hope you can, because I slept with it in the background last night, and it was just very healing and very nurturing. Part of my astrology is there's some water in my chart, so it's very healing for me to be by water. And so last night, I guess it's just a part of the universe helping me through my healing process. I got to sleep underneath huge trees with a roaring waterfall to lull me to sleep. Sometimes the universe gives us amazing gifts, and for this one, I'm extremely grateful. Very grateful. Definitely going in my gratitude journal.